All right, going to the Wayback Days. Actually, you know, not that long ago. It was used in universities quite a while. Still don't know if they may even still use it, but Heathkit made some nice microprocessor training courses. You can earn 8 credits. And so, yeah, they put a lot of effort into the educational system, and you could get, there's quite a few things that were educational from Heathkit. And one of the things you could get was this thing, Versatile 8-bit Microprocessor Trainer. Very cool. You could get it in a couple versions. You could get it in a version that used a 6811 processor or an 8085 processor. The 8085 processor module seems to be quite rare. I guess the ones that were taught mostly in schools was the 6811. This was from a catalog in 1991, and it was $695 in 1991 dollars. $695. Then you could get that was the 6811 one. They were both the same price if you got the Intel one. Or you could buy the module separately. If you bought one, you wanted the other module, you could get that for an additional $200. And then if you wanted to store programs away, you could get the memory module, which was an E² memory module you could put in there, and that was another $59. The microprocessor trainer is the model ETW-3800 with the ETC-6811 module. So very nice documentation that comes with these things. The one that I have was brand new, old stock, still sealed in the envelope, and it came with a warranty dated 2005. So like I said, not that long ago. 2005 was my 5-year warranty. So I guess the 5-year warranty is up. All right, so yesterday I showed this board, the insides of it. It was the ETC-6811, and so that's a module that you could plug into the device. And I have one of the EEPROM modules that we can plug into the device, but let's look at the device. All right, here it is. It's a beauty. Like I said, it was brand new. So this thing is absolutely pristine. It didn't have the little proto board in here, and so I took one that I had and took the double sticky tape off and stuck it in there. So now it's got the prototyping area here. I guess this was for students. They could take it in and out and take it with them. So the next time they came to class, they'd have their circuit already done. But these are all of the pins from the microprocessor, address and data lines and read writes and all kinds of stuff like that. It came with some extra things. It came with some LEDs that could light up and some little dip switches so you could have I/O, input and output. But it also came with a display, okay, and a keyboard. So that's super cool. So let's go ahead and plug these modules in. They're nice and snug. Let me plug it in. All right, let's turn it on. And there we go. Can you read that? A little bit hard to read. Get some light on it. A little bit better. Zenith 68HC11 Educational MPU version 1.3. Yeah, it's good to go. So the way that you use this thing was it had so back in the day, when you were starting to develop microprocessors, it was very common that the microprocessor you were going to be developing on was also used as the development tool itself. And that's the case here. This was to develop 6811s, and the only processor in this whole thing is the 6811 itself. So it is its own development system, okay? And we've kind of gone away from that, but I thought that was pretty cool back in the day. So you can do things like memory examine, and it says which address do you want to take a look at, right? And we could say, oh, I want to look at C000, and it says, there is a 7E there, and then you could go up, and you could take a look at all the memory locations, pluses, and you could go backwards and forwards, and things like that. So yeah, pretty interesting. Let's see. So it comes with an instruction book, and the way that you have to program this thing is by typing in all the numbers, right? So you could do a reset, you could do a examine memory, 0000, and it says, okay, now you're programming. So you type in what you want to do. So we're going to say 7E. 7E. So now we program 7E there, and we'll say 0, 0. So if we go back, we have 7E. Oops. 7E 0000. So what did I just type in there? Well, this is a jump instruction to 00. Okay. So I could do reset, and then I could say go 0000. Now it's actually executing that program. It's just looping and looping, looping. Well, that's pretty boring, so we'll do a reset. But I could do a single step at address 0000, and it says, you've got a jump instruction to 0. So every time I hit the single step button, it's doing that jump to 0. All right? So let's put in some other interesting things. Let me show you one thing that I did, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to use these LEDs, and I'm going to use a output port that it has, which is way down here, okay? So I'm going to connect OP output 0 to the first LED, and bit 1 to the next LED, and 2 to the next LED. So I have 0 through 3 going over here to the LEDs. They all seem to be high right now. Okay. Okay, so now they're all high. All right, so let's do reset. Let's do examine memory at 0 again. Okay, well now we're going to put in a different program. Let me find my program. All right, I'm going to type in 4C. What is instruction 4C? 4C says increment the accumulator. Okay, and then I'm going to do a B7. That is write the accumulator to memory, and we're going to put it at address location B240. B240 is this output port, okay? And then I'm going to do a jump 7E to 0000. Okay, so I can do a go 0000, and nothing's happening because it's going so fast. So I do a reset. I'm going to do a single step at 0, and it says I'm going to increment the accumulator. So I'm going to hit that. Then it says I'm going to store that accumulator at B240. And you can see that changed over here, and then I'm going to do a jump to 0. So now if I just keep hitting the button, you can watch this thing over here count. Okay? So we're just counting. So that's pretty cool, but we're going to go one step further. We're going to write a new program. It'll be this program here. We're going to do an increment, write it to the output port, and then we're going to put it in a delay loop. We're going to delay X, so there's an X register, there's a 16-bit register. We're going to decrement that register until we get to a 0 condition, which is going to be branch equal, and branch not equal. So branch not equal, it says if it's not 0 yet, go round and round and round and round and round. When it's finally 0, fall through and do it all again. So this adds a little delay loop here. And this is the program that we have to type in, okay? So we'll do a memory 0, okay? Now, we want to do a 4C, B7, B2, 40, 09, 26, FD, 7E, 0000. All right? And now when we hit reset go 0000, we've done an error here somewhere. So let's go back to the examine memory. B7. Oh, that should be 4C. 4C. B7. That's correct. B2. 40. That's right. 09. 26. FD. E should be 7E. 7E 0000. Okay, let's check that again. Okay, so 4C, B7, B2, 40, 0926 FD 7E00. Okay, good. Now we'll do reset. Go 0000. And there we go. We've got our first program. Okay, so it is incrementing the accumulator, writing it to the output port, which we have hooked up to these LEDs, and then delaying by counting in 16 bits, and then going and doing it all again. So there you go. That's how you would develop on this thing. Isn't that pretty cool? All right. So we have our memory, so we can actually save that away also. All right. And we could save that. We do a save, and we tell it starting address, and then how many bytes to go. So we'll say, oh, I don't know, 100 bytes, 100 hexadecimal bytes, and then you can type in which place you want to store it. So let 0 through F are the locations you can store it. We'll say 9. It says copying, verifying checksum, and it's written it away. So now it's available here, and we can do a load. Okay, so it comes with, like I said, some sample programs and stuff. One of those was I can load here. It was stored at 0. And I can do a go, and it says programming is easy and fun. That was the first program that it asked you to write, and you had to type it all in. It was a pain in the butt. Yes, sir. So anyway, there you go. It also has the ability to hook it up to RS-232, which I haven't done yet, and then you can actually develop on the terminal, and or PC, whatever, and then you could actually load in hex files as well. So it has a way of, you could download hex files. So you could develop large programs offline and then download them in with a hex file, and it would read that from the RS-232. I haven't tried that yet. But some of the other buttons are examine memory, examine registers. You can look at the different registers that it has. The go button is, executed at a particular address. You could memory block. You could block memory and I/O. Download. This is the hex file. You could set breakpoints. You can look at you could watch registers while it ran. Watch locations. Load, save, duplicate, which is copy a program. Here's the RS-232 control. Or you can set the baud rate. You can insert, and it'll shove all the lines down. Yeah, it's got a whole bunch of things to go. All right, I think that's enough for this video. Next video, we're going to talk about the actual hardware and how you might use these and some of the built-in functions they have to do hardware design using the various pins they've brought out.